What are some newborn care tips for the first 24 hours? Well, one thing I tell people is newborns, a lot of times they won't breastfeed every 2 to 3 hours in that first 24 hours. It's not surprising if they have a good feeding after they're born and then they go about 6 hours between feedings. That is totally fine. Some will eat every hour, some will do every 6 hours, and that is not a problem the first 24 hours. We're looking at jaundice. We'd want 0 signs of jaundice in the first 24 hours. After 24 hours, depending on how high it is, the levels are normal. Before 24 hours, not normal at all. You need to let your care provider know. But really, it's a lot of recovery, letting baby sleep, feeding baby for those every 6 hours minimum, kind of getting those things done. And a lot of rest, a lot of adjusting to being a new parent. Baby is probably going to spit up a fair amount. There's a lot of amniotic fluid still in their lungs. That's okay. They lived with amniotic fluid. They breathed amniotic fluid. Some of it was pushed through the lungs when they were born, and some of it is going to come up. That's fine. What we don't want to see is green. If you think, I don't know, does that look green? I can't really tell. But if baby spits up green, you're like, oh wow, that's green. That baby needs to be seen immediately, okay? So have your midwife come over or take baby to the emergency room at Children's Hospital, that sort of thing, because that can be a very bad sign, and it is not something you want to wait till morning for if it is a very obvious green, okay? That can be bad complications. Very rarely happens, don't stress about it, but it is something to look for. Babies should poop. They should poop at least once on day 1, twice on day 2, and 3 times on day 3. Now, let's say baby pooped a ton when they were born. They may not poop on day 2. That's okay, because they pooped so much on day 1. If they did a ton on day 1 and they don't poop on day 2, you may not get a poop until the end of day 3. So keep that in mind. Babies should pee about 6 times a day. Now remember, babies are peeing about a teaspoon, so they're not going to pee a full diaper. In fact, a lot of times, unless you have that little line that goes in the diaper, you're not even gonna know your baby peed until they've peed 3 or 4 times, most likely. So peeing, very, very good thing. Pooping and eating. If baby has any retractions, baby's nose is flaring when they breathe, their nostrils kind of do this. If they're going, that's fine. Now, one thing babies do is they breathe erratically. This is how a baby can breathe. It drives parents crazy. That is typically pretty normal. If they breathe nonstop really fast, I'm concerned. Their respirations are typically between 40 and 60 respirations per minute. So you can't count a newborn's respirations for 10 seconds and times it by 6. You have to count them for a full minute, and never count a newborn's respirations when they're crying. This is important because they're going to be all over the map when they're crying. So first 24 hours, here are some simple things to expect.